Welcome back to Orangeline. Now it's time for What's Bugging Us at Baker, with your favorite What's Bugging Us host, Zack Rockey, and also Chris Smith.
Thanks, Alex, and welcome to this week's What's Bugging Us at Baker. I'm Zack Rockey.
I'm Chris Smith.
And what's bugging us this week, unfortunately,
it's a problem that's been killing men for centuries.
When girlfriends ask their boyfriends to hold or walk with or carry a purse. Chris, is there any cool way to do this?
No,
not at all.
The slightest.
Not at all. And what brings us up is a couple weeks ago, I was being a great boyfriend. My girlfriend needed some help. She wanted me to go back to her room and grab her purse. First thing I thought was, what a great idea. I'll be a good boyfriend and I'll do it.
Sure.
As soon as I walk in the room and I see that dreaded, awful purse laying there, I think to myself, how am I going to get this back without looking like an idiot?
You tuck it in your shirt?
Well, at first I was in the room and I did this, and then I realized that is the uncoolest thing you can possibly do as a man.
That's real feminine.
So yeah, it's very feminine. So I decided to hold it like this, like a suitcase maybe, but that's very feminine as well. So you know what I did?
Just grab it.
I went with the O.J. Simpson, tuck into the arm, and walk back like holding a football. You're not going to knock this out. Yeah, you're not going to knock this out of my hands. You're not going to knock it off my arm. And everybody's going to see that guy and be like, wow, that guy right there, great boyfriend, but at the same time, he looks like a man.
I've always taken this approach where I just grab it real firm.
I like that.
Out to the side, but it's almost like you're carrying an explosive or something. Like you're nervous about it, you know?
But Chris, I'm going to throw a curveball your way now. A lot of girls, they have these bad boys.
Oh, what on earth is that?
That is like 3 times the size of a man wallet. And there's nothing, I repeat, nothing you can possibly do to make this look cool. Because look, it does not fit into the pocket. It looks like a huge bulge.
No.
And if you're wearing blue jeans like you are right now, there's no way you're going to get this in there. So ladies, these look great on you. I respect the fact that you have purses. You have a lot of stuff in there. Great. Good job. But don't ever ask your boyfriend to carry it. Or like if you're going to ask him to carry it, put it in a backpack for him or something, because it just doesn't look that cool as a man. And he just feels very feminine.
We're already wearing purple.
Exactly. Purple shirts, purple pink purses, not going to work for us.
No.
Not at all.
That's all we got today. Back to you guys.
Hello. Baker University recently received more land for the Baker Wetlands Restoration Project. Jessica Mulvaney has more.
Roger Boyd and his son Jon work daily out at the Baker Wetlands located just south of Lawrence. The areas that they are working on to restore are called emergent wetlands. However, there are several different classifications of wetlands.
There are many, many different types of wetlands. I think the classification is something like 50 or 60 different types, and it depends on how nitpicky you want to be as to what that definition is. But a wetlands basically has to be inundated for part of the year, at least 2 weeks of the year by technical definition by the Corps of Engineers. But it can also be very wet below the surface, and the water table being within a couple feet, that's enough to keep it wet, and only certain types of plants are going to grow there. So the water is the main key ingredient, and what the water does is it changes the type of soil that's there, and that soil basically becomes what is called hydric soil, which means it's basically clay that has a lot of organic matter in it. So this is very sticky gumbo stuff, but it's very black because it has a lot of organic matter in it. And those two things, the soil type and the water, mean only certain types of plants can live here. So when you go out to an area to see if it's a wetlands, you usually look for the plants.
Roger works full-time on the wetlands in order to complete the 2 phases of the restoration project.
So this is a 3-year project, and by the end of that 3 years, we have to verify to KDOT and the Corps of Engineers that it is actually a wetlands, and we're already there. We have the plants that are supposed to be here. We have the amount of water that's supposed to be here. The soil type was already a wetland soil type, so we've met the 3 criteria the first year. We were expecting it would take us 3 years to get to that.
The father-son duo have recently been working on completing a walking trail and a boardwalk which will run across the entire landscape.
Yeah, the trail is going to be 1,800 feet long. The boardwalk that we're sitting on is 1,100 feet long. It'll be a big loop that'll hook up to the walking trail. We have an education pavilion up there with education panels in it right now. We're working with a team to design and build an observation tower inside of the silo that's up there, and then of course the visitor center.
Once some projects are completed, the Boyds hope to get more visitors to the wetlands, which would include thousands of students each year.
Well, hopefully once we finish the boardwalk, we can advertise either in the paper or we've been on Channel 6 before here in Lawrence, and just advertise that this side is open to the public now, and we have a boardwalk and a picnic pavilion with information, and maybe we can get the silo with the tower built inside of it too, but hopefully we can just get it out to the public that this side is also open to the public and they can come out here and enjoy this side like they do the other side.
Despite the arguments against the new highway, if the South Lawrence Trafficway is completed, then it will run through a part of the Baker wetlands, but there are some positives that Boyd and the land will receive.
KDOT, the Kansas Department of Transportation, has been trying to finish the South Lawrence Trafficway since 95. They started working on it in 1985. Took them 10 years to get the first section part done, and they've been trying to look for a route that would be agreeable to the largest number of people. We being Baker, finally decided that we would allow them to build it across part of our wetlands. We'd lose 56 acres, and in turn we would come up with a mitigation that's compensating for the loss of those wetlands, a mitigation project. And what that's going to turn out to be is we'll restore 304 acres of farm ground back to wetlands, and we'll get money from KDOT to build a visitor center and money to establish an endowment so we can staff the visitor center and basically pay for equipment and maintenance forever into the future.
With Phase 1 almost completed, there is still much work to be done out at the wetlands, and Baker students are welcome to come out in their spare time and help with the ongoing project. Jessica Mulvaney, KNBU TV.
Thanks, Jessica. Before we go to commercial, KNBU's Star TV reporter, Calvin Pearce, took it to the streets and asked students what their fall break plans were for this week's Question of the Week.
Actually, I'm not going to class Thursday, Friday, since we don't have class. We have a football game Saturday, and then I think we're building a Mentos rocket ship Sunday, and seeing how high it can go up, we're going to hopefully get it above Parmenter Hall. And that's about it.
Going home and spending it with my family.
For fall break, I'm going to go home and work for a couple days.
During the fall break, I plan on celebrating my 21st birthday with my family, and my sister-in-law I'm throwing a baby shower for her. She's been waiting to have a child for 7 years, so.
Well, what we're going to do is Thursday, since no class or nothing, we're going to barbecue, we're going to fire up the grill. It's going to be a regular Gates in my backyard. Come through, come holler at us, because we're going to do it big.
Soccer practice with this guy over here and this guy. So I got some soccer, and then we have a big game against Benedictine this Saturday.